All right. I've been waiting for this for a long time, Göran. I've had many people in my hot chair. Now this is the first one in the second season. It's all about cash goes digital, and I know when we first coined that, you just love the concept, cash goes digital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just tell me why did you like that so much?
Well, it's catchy once, but there is so much behind it. So I actually think that was a nice way of having it all said in less than one sentence. Actually, what kind of values we can offer.
Yeah, no, I remember you telling me that it tells it all, really. And yeah. I think it's, I think at the board meeting, I remember Malte was saying that swimmingly easy payments that we used before in the first season of this sort of interviews, it's many companies can say that. Many companies, he can think of 20 companies who can say swimmingly easy payments, but very few could actually deliver on the properties of cash. Cash goes digital. That's another story, which is not just sort of a swimmingly easy payments. This is actually replicating the properties of cash, which is another thing.
Right. You know more than anybody possibly that this has been a stepwise procedure, but I think that we've been moving quite swiftly and being able to transform an idea into something more substantial in terms of software development and so forth, and actually something that goes to show that this is a workable concept within a very limited time frame. So that is quite impressive. Very innovative company, I think, Crunchfish is. And we have not really started generating the large revenues, but I believe that we have gradually positioned the company into where we can expect some sort of catch-up effect, and we're getting close to that.
Yeah. First comes nothing, and then nothing, and then nothing, and all of a sudden, bloops. Yeah.
And maybe we're not a typical venture capitalist, but we think we have a long-term investment horizon, so it's fine to wait for a while to get, the manifestation of success, as long as the huge potential is there and also accessible with the kind of offering that the company ultimately is presenting to the market. And I think we're getting there.
Yeah. No, but let's sort of let's dig in a little bit to Midrock. As Midrock Technologies. You are the CEO. You're the chairman of Crunchfish, and you've been let's start with your relationship. When did you get into Crunchfish, really? Because we've been camping for a long time in the board.
Yeah.
So is it 5 years ago, or how long have you been there, Göran?
I think actually I'll start with my own background, because I'm a serial or even parallel entrepreneur myself.
Yeah.
I never could fit the shoes of an employee, so I was running my own startups for 20 years or so. I think it was like 15 of them. One or two got listed, or a couple of exits and so forth. So I'm very entrepreneurial in my mindset. But at a certain point in time, I got in contact with Midrock, and one thing led to the other. So I was actually engaged as a CEO of this new venture capital branch of Midrock on a consultancy basis, because I've never been employed before, and why should I? But after 6 months, that was back in 2006, I decided that, I really loved working with these guys. So I actually got my first decent employment ever in the summer of 2006, and we started building a portfolio of game-changing technologies, primarily within the field of clean tech and some within life science. But we also wanted to spice up the portfolio somewhat with ingenuitive companies from the IT segment. And that's when I came across Crunchfish. At that point in time, I don't think the offer was extremely appealing, but you could easily tell that that was a great capacity to move an idea into something more tangible. And we've been getting a lot of new ideas. So, the actual product that we're now offering is so much more than we could have had anticipated at that point in time. But yes, I think that I joined the board in 2015.
Yeah.
And we also made the
seed investment. The seed investment was 2012, and it was
yeah.
me, and it was actually at that point it was actually Mohammed Al Almoudi himself. I know I've been handling his passport, a copy of it as well, because he. This was the seed round of Crunchfish 2012. It was all about gesture control at that time.
Yeah.
And the focus was not at all AR, because no one even knew what AR was at that time. But it was actually to with your hand gestures control electronic devices like mobile phones, for instance. But we thought. What happened with that is that it was a great thing, but it was a nice to have, a nice to have solution. It's you can still press the screen, but I think where we are now with gesture, 8 years later, is that we are looking for this is quite exciting actually, to go for these smart glasses, certainly for the consumer market. And you have no screen, and they really need to be really neat and smart, those glasses. And to deliver that gesture control, I don't think there is many others that can, do that kind of job that we can do there. So it's moved a lot in that area. It's
moved a lot, but it hasn't created that much revenue, because I think the actual maturity of the technologies in which it's supposed to be incorporated is. Well, they haven't been there until now, very recently. So,
yeah, no, I agree. And then it's kudos to Midrock for being in 8 years and not ever once sort of you always been behind it. So you are a long-term. You have proven yourself to be a long-term investor.
Yeah, but that we turned it out with the setup in 2015 was a bit different than 2012, because some of the companies were not really integrated into our structured way of dealing with these investments. So that was the time when Crunchfish got on board this more structured way of working with our portfolio companies.
You mean in 2015 when you sort of joined?
Yeah, because Crunchfish was more like a satellite investment. No, okay. I mean, it was not part of the Midrock family at that point in time.
No, I know. Mohammed Al Almoudi, he owned the shares personally.
Right. So I actually was a bit hesitant first, but then I met the team, and I said, this may take a while, but we sure got some momentum going here.
Yeah. No, I remember our first meeting at Mohammed Al Almoudi's sort of place up in. I think we met first time there. I think you had a Midrock sort of board meeting or something, and I was allowed to sort of step in there and give a pitch for. I don't know really what I talked about, but it was so many years back.
Nobody knows, but it sounded great.
yeah. No, but it's been a fun ride, and I was very happy actually that because as you said, we've been camping together in the board since 2015. I was the chairman, and you were then representing sort of Midrock very much on the board. But I was very happy that you took over when I stepped in as CEO. That you I know you said that I really can't take more chairman's roles because my calendar is full. But I don't know why did you end up actually, because you remember that you actually did say no, and you played hard to get, really.
Well, being in charge of 20 portfolio companies, half of them listed, being on the board with the Lions part of the companies, that sort of takes it toll in terms of time management. But I also knew at that point in time that we had some brilliant ideas that could be developed in the area of what we now call Cash Goes Digital. And those embryonic ideas that rapidly was turned into something much more was, very intriguing to me. So I think, maybe I can actually make an exception. So
we made you a solution you couldn't say no to.
Yeah, you presented a vision with some sort of credibility that was very appealing to me.
Yeah. No, I am grateful, Göran, because I think for the continuity of the company, I think it was important. You never know who you're getting in if we would take sort of someone, and I was happy because I think we had a momentum, and why rock the boat more than necessary. It was sort of even a shift with that Joachim and I sort of in a way. Sort of did a swap here, so I was really happy that you stayed on. So thanks for that, and I think it's been good. And I hope you haven't changed your mind and you are up for renewal even next year.
Yeah, I'm available, but I think it's very important with this long-term investment horizon. You learn to differ failures from yet to succeed cases. Failures is they have their own characteristics, whereas yet to succeed, you feel the pulse, you see the progress, and in this case, we're waiting for the catch-up effect, but you still walk this road with high confidence that is actually boosted with the reaction that we get from players on the market. We're going to do big stuff, and that, I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. So, but I think that we're getting there, and I'm very excited about the next couple of years where we're actually going to get a much bigger footprint.
Yeah, so am I. I think it is interesting times for sure. And I know another solution area. Gestures is sort of I think a cool thing, and it's coming to market now. We hope with this consumer AR. We have digital cash. But I know a favorite that you like as well, that you think is sort of this could be a wild card, is sort of the food waste. I know that's that you. What do you see in the food waste thing? Why is that appealing to you, that we can sort of reduce food waste?
Well, maybe that's a reflection of the mindset you get from investing into clean tech companies. And that's an environmental concern, basically, that we waste a lot of food. And if there is a tool that can allow us to reduce that waste, that would be magnificent. And I could never dream of that Crunchfish would be the company coming up and getting it patented as well within this area. But now here we are.
We just did it for you, Göran. We know you love clean tech, so we had to sort of give you something to stay on.
Yeah, but I think it's underestimated. It hasn't really got the spotlight on it yet, but that is a wild card, if you will, in our portfolio offerings.
Yeah. No,
it's hard to focus on everything at the same time, so you have to do not one thing at a time, but you have to get your priorities straight. But I think that this is something that we could capitalize on within near future anyway.
Yeah. And I think we have Linda. She's worked a little bit remote for us. She sits up in Stockholm, but she has a lot of good background. She comes from GS1, and this food waste thing is all about that you're exploiting that every sort of every single package will have a QR code in the future instead of a barcode, and then you can, and this is their technology, GS1 Digital Link, and she's really well equipped to sort of drive it, and she's getting a lot of good traction talking to people about it. So and here I think Clearon, our you sit also in the Blipit board, which we have together with Clearon, but Clearon is quite excited about this idea with the food waste, because this could create a new category of discounts that they can offer to consumers.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, they should be. It's not only a commercial opportunity, it's actually, well, it's something that we would be able to do that would make the world a better place, which is obviously something that we all strive towards, but and making some money while doing it, that's the name of the game.
Yeah. No, it's good. So looking ahead, Göran, what I know you are bullish just like I am, and but what do you see in the crystal ball here? Really, is it sort of you're talking about catch-up effects? You're talking about that we are moving ahead, and it's sort of I think some of our investors, they're saying, so where's the cash? You know, where's the revenue? You know, and you know, well, how do you look upon it? We are running out of cash a little bit in the company. You know, we at the current rate, we won't sustain the whole of the 2021. So we have to think of that. And so what's your thinking?
Well, don't hold that against me, but I'm not too nervous about that. As long as we're progressing, I feel comfortable in supporting the company, and I know that other investors do as well. But yes, there is a good reason to be impatient because we've been struggling for quite some time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we have been able to sign agreements, but the potential might get themselves capped if we don't enter agreement with the maybe not ideal players, but the good enough players that could actually make our offering justice on a global scale. So I anticipate that we will be able to close another, well, some deals within this segment, cash goes digitals, that would have significance in terms of assessing the company and also proving in real life that there are people out there that actually wants what we're presenting to them.
Yeah, no, but you're right. I think I'm close to the dialogues, and I've heard that when it comes to this new area of what's called CBDC, central bank digital currency, there to have digital cash, as you know, currently they are issuing cash in their markets, and everybody's trying to modernize cash, and there is not a single central bank who do not think of the properties that cash have, and they need to have that in digital form, i.e. they need digital cash. So I think we are spot on for that whole trend. But I think what's even more interesting is that even for private money, that our solution is equally, so we can use it for wallets, we can use it for even linking it to the payment network or the payment rail itself.
Sure.
Is possible, and that makes it so in a way, yeah, versatile and universal in a way.
Yeah, I think that sometimes it can be perceived as quite complex what we are working on and what we are trying to convey into a commercials phase product offering. I think you need to dig into it a bit, but for those that really understand what we're actually offering, this is some, I mean, nobody says we don't want this. It's a question of how and to what extent it's going to be incorporated. And if the properties and functionality of what we're offering is deemed essential, we were talking about nice product, this becomes a need product or a need setup for handling digital cash. And ultimately, we are actually sitting on all the patents that makes all this functionality possible. So inherently, there's a substantial value linked to that, I think. Now we simply need to roll it out.
Yeah, no, and I think I was lucky that you were part of the Blipit board as well, because it all started with that we understood that we couldn't just go with Blipit to India, because 60 million merchants, there was only 2 million who have online cash registers. So we were missing out on 58 million merchants out of 60. So this is sort of, in a way, what triggered us to think, well, what do we have to do here more than just Blipit? And then it all came then to this idea of sort of what now we call the digital cash, or cash goes digital, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And at almost every juncture, that was a bit annoying, I must admit, that we found a way to simplify it further. So, shit, we need to pause for a while. We need to sort of get together this more simplified solution, and then we push the accelerator. And at that point in time, again, wow, we can further simplify it. But I hope, and I actually trust that there are no more simplifications to be made, which is a relief.
Don't count on that, Göran.
Nah, maybe not.
Might come with another one.
Yeah, you're one crazy inventor, I must say. But I mean, I really enjoy working with you. You're a clever son of a bitch.
No, but I think our simplification, I agree with you that we thought that let's push this out, but then we came up with something that no, we should actually do this slight change, because I think the potential just increases by all these. You know, if you develop technology, if you could have less constraints on sort of what's needed to roll it out, the better. But then, so I think we're going to win in the long term, that we have now made it so.
I think so too. But you know, when investor hates when the company is fiddling around with perfection instead of going for good enough and make some money. So, but the steps actually achieved by those modification or simplifications were quite tangible, I think. So
I think it's and you know that it wasn't driven by perfection. It was driven more on the basis of scalability that we saw.
I know
so much more scalability.
From an outside perspective, it may be perceived as they're working for perfection instead of money.
No, I can understand that. I can understand that from the outside. But this is where, if the ketchup effect comes, I think we will be all forgiven.
Well, let's hope so.
yeah. No, hey, Göran, this is sort of I think this is a great kickoff of you know, the second season of those interviews, Corona style. We do it. You're at your home and I'm at my home, and but I like to announce to everybody we actually gonna do. Last season was 18 episodes. Second season we'll have 36. We have to double that sort of. So it's going to be 36, and it's going to be over 12 weeks. We're going to have 3 per day, and this is sort of the chairman's cut. The very first episode kicking off the second.
I hope I haven't disappointed you then.
No, I think this been great. And this first week will be we will, you know, we have 3 people in the board that we haven't done yet. So it's you, it's Robert, who is new to the board, and it's Susanne Hannestad. So this is the first theme week. We're going to cover the crunch report, but we're going to cover a lot of things. Like, we're going to talk about security aspects for 1 week. We're going to talk food waste for 1 week. We're going to talk about we're going to have some Crunchfish alumni coming. We're going to talk about some payment services. We're going to have the team India, so people will know who they are. And it's going to be over 12 weeks now. So we will be almost like Game of Thrones now, second season. You tune in on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
And all shareholders get a new full-time hobby.
Yes. No, I think we've been sort of a little bit you know, we've been i gruvan, sort of in the mine working, but I think it's time to come up with that and actually start communicating what we're all about. And I think this second season will put that. So, and Göran, thanks so much for being the chairman, but also for volunteering to be, you know, providing the director's story here of what we're all about. I think it's been great.
No, thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, Göran. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes,
Bye.
bye.